Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today is a Friend Friday hop and I'm going to be sharing these 3 projects that I'm making. All supplies are coming from the Dollar Tree. I cannot wait to show you all the steps. Our very first DIY, we're going to take this garden divider. I don't know what this thing is called, but this thing from the garden and these long painter sticks. And we are going to turn them into a really cute artwork that you can hang up on your wall. So what we're going to do first is we are going to take these long painter sticks and we are going to cut them down to size. And we are going to be using my saw and my miter box. I will link it down below. A lot of you have been asking about it. I love this tool. Now typically I show you in the video how I first cut it and then I move over to my carpet because then it doesn't slide so much. I've had some people asking me, that's what I really do when I'm cutting it, but I'm just showing you this is basically how I cut my pieces and then I move over to the carpet. So once I've got all of mine cut on both ends, I'm going to go ahead and take those mitered edges and put them together with some wood glue and some hot glue, so I've got that long-term, short-term seal where they're going to really hold together as a nice frame. I really like making high-end Dollar Tree DIYs here on my channel, and I like to try to challenge you all to push yourself to new creativities and just have fun making things that are outside of your comfort level and learn and grow with each new project you make. So once you've got that glue all in place, you're going to add a little bit more and then you're going to take these little pieces of the triangles. These will come off as you're cutting your wood pieces and you're just going to put those on to help support those corners because you don't want them to break. We want to make this nice and sturdy, like I said, so it's high end. And then you're going to just staple it into place on all 4 of those corners and you have created yourself your very own frame. Now we're going to move ahead and start cutting this thing apart. Again, I don't know what this thing is called, but it's basically for flower beds and you can put them all around the edges and it makes them look really cute. But we're going to take it and we're going to cut it up. So you can see here that I cut off this rounded part and I'm snipping away any little extra edges that I don't want so it's as smooth as I possibly can get it. And we're going to do that 4 times and those are going to go in each corner of this frame. So make sure you just take your time cutting them. They actually cut pretty easy, but you can accidentally cut too far if you go too fast. So just go really slow. As you can see here, I'm just taking my time. I did speed it up for interest of time in this video not being too long, but just again, take your time and just, you know, cut around those edges and make sure you're being thoughtful on that curve because that's probably the trickiest part you're going to cut. So you're going to actually need 2 of these items from the Dollar Tree, these garden flower bed dividers, and we are going to be cutting them all up. So now that we've got those 4 rounded pieces, now we're going to go towards the bottom of these garden dividers and we are going to cut off, and you can see here you want it to almost look like a T. This is the bottom part of this item that we're cutting up. And that's because we're going to use that to shove underneath the frame. That's going to become the thing that is going to really support this whole thing and keep all these pieces together without it falling apart and, you know, over time breaking. So you can see here that on the back side I flipped it over. I put down some hot glue first and now I'm going to staple it onto the frame so it's really strong and sturdy. That way, so there's some of this cool lattice work onto the frame and then other pieces are glued and it's all nice and secure. So once I've got those all 4 secure onto the frame, I'm going to go ahead and start hot gluing on these rounder pieces, these curved with the little curly piece and this little arrow. We're going to put those right in the corner and support them with some glue, and then on the back side, the front side you saw me put down the hot glue, and then on the back side I'm going to add in some E6000 just to really make sure it's hot glued and long-term glued together. Now we're going to take the second one that we have of these garden flower bed dividers. Please tell me what the thing is called because I'm going to be using these in another DIY and it would be so great if someone could tell me what this is called. I just can't remember. And then we're going to take this next piece. You saw how I cut out that little part that's an arrow and also these rounded pieces because we're going to take them and create a circle. So you can see here we need these 2 pieces that we just cut out. And the circle's really easy to put together. You're just going to take 3 of these curved edges and you're going to bring them all together with some hot glue and then just push them all into place and they will make a perfect circle. Now these other pieces, like I just showed you, that I cut out, so you can see here that I'm going to be pointing the arrow in now. And this is the same thing that we cut on that first cut that was rounded that we're putting in the corners. We're just taking off that rounded top. And then we're gonna just nestle that in. See how I flipped it over? And I'm putting them underneath that piece that's in the corner. You wanna make sure everything is nice and glued down really well. And then these extra pieces from that T that we cut earlier with the little curl on it, we don't want those long pieces. I've decided to just go ahead and cut those away. You can see here that that slipped and moved a little bit. I need to hold it down a little bit longer with some hot glue. And while that's drying, I went ahead and just cut off the last of those long pieces. We don't want those to be there. And then once we've got everything cut and everything's all hot glued and held into place and nice and sturdy, go ahead and flip it over. And now we're going to take the circle and we are going to put hot glue on that and add that into the center of this really cool art frame. So the cool thing about this is that it actually is really strong and sturdy because I've reinforced it with E6000 and hot glue, and I do recommend flipping it over one more time to the back side and adding in more hot glue where you think you need it. It's going to be really sturdy the more hot glue you add to the back. And then when you're done, just pull off all the little strings because you're going to have hot glue strings everywhere when you're putting this thing together. I did. So just take the time to take those all off. Now you're going to go ahead and take some white paint and paint the frame. I will say I wish that I had done this before I started putting on all this black lattice ironwork, but you know, sometimes when I'm filming I don't think about things as I'm going, and I'm just making sure you all can see what I'm doing. So here is the finished look. Now today is a Friend Friday, and don't forget, click the link down below in the description box and that will take you to the next girl in the hop, and then that next girl will take you to the next girl, and just keep going to all the links in all of our description boxes and that will take you all the way around the whole hop. Our next DIY is going to be using this really popular tray that a lot of people love to put chalk paint on to make a little chalkboard, but we're going to make this a really cute tray. I have had these little handles from a dresser for quite some time. I picked them up from a thrift store and I got them half off, so they were really only $2. And I've decided I wanted to take them and turn them into a little tray with handles on it that you could put in a guest bedroom, and I just think it's so cute. Now what's going to make this DIY special and different than other ones that you've seen before is we're going to take this super cool tool that I've featured here on my channel before. It's called a Crop-A-Dile. I'm going to link it down below, and it punches through metal. I love this thing so much. So you can see here that I lined up the best I could so I could have some holes as a guide. I punched through that metal, and now I'm going to add some E6000 and I'm going to apply these cute little handles right onto my tray. Now I think it's really important to make sure you get some good adhesive on here because the screws that came with these handles were way too long, and I'm just using random screws that are short enough to be able to have a nice seal. They don't perfectly screw in. You don't have to have them to perfectly screw in. You can see here that I'm just kind of pressing them down in there, and that E6000 is really going to hold it all together after it has had enough time to dry. Once it was all dried, I added some spray paint and now I'm set to go. If you haven't yet and you are enjoying this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And for all of my YouTube friends, also don't forget that on May 8th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the next DIY challenge. It is a free theme. You can make whatever you want for the DIY challenge. The playlist will go live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our next DIY that we're going to be moving on to is probably my favorite for today. I cannot wait to show you all how we are going to be making this item. So we're going to take this lid top piece, not the screwed on part, but the flat piece. And then we're going to take some chicken wire and we are going to start molding it around these garden baskets. Now I used this a couple days ago to make a bird cage. I'm going to link that video at the end of this video so you can see how I turned this item into a bird cage. But today we're going to be making a fruit basket with this. So we're going to take this chicken wire and we're going to slowly just start working our way all the way around, pushing it down, twisting the wire into place, making sure everything is nice and secure, because chicken wire can scratch and can cause it to catch onto your clothes. It can do a lot of things, but when you do it right and you take your time and you just keep twisting it and making sure all those little sharp pieces are down, it makes the coolest farmhouse DIY look. So here I am, I'm just taking my pliers and working around my basket and pushing down the wire. Once I have everything all secure and twisted into place, I'm going to take that cap and with some E6000 again and some hot glue for that long-term, short-term hold, I'm going to make sure it's nice and secure on there with that glue. And then I'm going to take another long piece of wire and I'm just going to twist it around in two places. You're going to want to create kind of a V opening because we're going to be putting one of those glass candle stem holders that you see a lot from the Dollar Tree. Now you should be able to rub your hands all over your basket without you having any wire poking your fingers. That's how you know that you've done a good job with making sure it was nice and safe to have out for use for decor. So here I am where I'm taking that glass candlestick holder like I mentioned just a second ago, and we're going to put that right on top of that cap. You're going to want to spread them open just a little bit more than what I had there, because you want to make sure that the glass is going underneath that wire and it's nice and secure and on there for long term. Then once it's all done and you can see that everything is in place, set it aside, let it dry, and then go ahead and spray paint it all black. Once it's spray painted black, it takes on a whole new life and it looks so stinking cool at this point. Now I decided to go more farmhouse with this, and I wanted to wrap some rope from the Dollar Tree around the top. I thought this looked really nice and finished off the basket. I hope you enjoyed these projects today. Leave a comment down below to let me know which one you liked. Don't forget to hop along to the next girl in the hop. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button because I've got so many more fun projects coming. And don't forget that I have a Heidi Sonboul home channel as well. Thanks so much for stopping by, and until the next episode, bye friends!